All right, boys, how you doing in this fantastic day? Today, I just want to talk about Windows 11 and also my experience using Windows 10 here for a while. So if you're unfamiliar with me, I am Zany. Also, my name is Tyler. I make normally Linux videos. Also here recently, it's been more of some gaming content as I'm making a game. It's called Never Alone, and I should be posting another devlog video here before too long. It'll probably be the first. I have posted some devlog videos before, but this will be the first real, proper, edited devlog, and it'll be a good devlog this time. I've just sort of dropped some updates for those who watch me live. Also, if you don't know this, I live stream over on Odyssey. It's been a little bit. I've been busy. But that's beside the point. How is Windows? Windows 10, the only good thing I have to say about Windows 10 is that it effing works. That's it. Other than that, it's dog shit. It sucks. Like, everything works about Windows, but it sucks ass. Like, the file browser is just stupid. I hate going back to the floating window manager like workflow where I have to like dig through and find like whenever I have 5 effing programs open, I have to like sift through them or click on the taskbar, have it load. Like I've moved on from this paradigm and I don't like it. I just don't. Maybe you are, like using GNOME, KDE, Cinnamon, whatever, some type of desktop environment, and you enjoy the floating layout method of using your computer. I just don't. I don't like it. And then like Windows 10, like you have to, if you don't want to use a Microsoft account, you're going to have to just disconnect your computer from internet to be able to set it up with it. But even that won't be a thing for much longer. I've got Linus Tech Tips video here loaded up, and so if I just can I like control zoom in? Hell yeah. All right, let's see this video here. Look at this Windows 11 Home Edition. So this is for the new Windows 11 that everyone's heard about. It's coming up. Even if you're in the Linux space, you've heard about it because Linux people like to shit on Windows, so of course you've heard about it. But either way, Windows 11 Home Edition requires internet connectivity and a Microsoft account to complete device setup on first use. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about it. The main problem that I have with this is I actually use a Microsoft account to sign up for Windows 10 because I didn't know. I just had, like, if I had just unhooked the Ethernet cord that I had going into my computer, I would have been able to do it. Also, if you're connected to Wi-Fi, if you just don't connect to Wi-Fi, you'll be able to set it up without a Microsoft account using a local account. That's just not a effing thing on the new Windows 11. On Windows 11 Home, like, you're gonna have to buy a Windows 10 Pro license because, like, let's be honest, like, if you buy any computer, you get a Windows 10 Home license, not a Pro license, a Home license. So essentially, if you want to be able to use your computer without a Microsoft account, you are going to have a Pro license. That is so like, on the off chance that somebody who works at Microsoft hears this, let me be honest, that is the most underhanded bullshit thing that you can possibly do. Like, let me just be fucking honest about it, okay? If you have to essentially require that somebody not have internet connectivity, or in your new case, where just essentially you have to pay a shitload of money to not have a Microsoft account, how do you not understand that nobody wants your services? Nobody gives two fucking shits about what you have to say or the features that you offer with a Microsoft account. Like, nobody trusts you worth a damn. So, like, how do you not understand that there's a problem? And it's not the fact that we need to require people to use a Microsoft account. Like, that, you're so fucking ass backwards, Microsoft. What the fuck is wrong with you? I'm sorry, I know I'm dropping a lot of F-bombs, but seriously, like, this is like, it shows a level of incompetence that is like almost unimaginable, because they literally need you to use a Microsoft account. And for those of you out there who are not into privacy whatsoever, and you're like, this is some type of conspiracy theory, it's not a conspiracy theory. Like, if I essentially sold you a smoothie for like $3, but if you signed up for our service where you could get our emails and such, and you know, we got some metadata back from you when you're using your devices, and you could buy that smoothie for 75 cents. Let's just do 75 cents. There's a huge benefit, like whatever that metadata is, whatever that promotion that they're going to be sending you, they've done the math to know that it is much more valuable for them to give you a drink for much less money, as long as you're willing to sign up for their service. And so that's why I feel really, really uncomfortable with the way that Windows is going with this new update. I mean, also, you're going to need a DirectX 12 compatible graphics card to even be able to install the effing thing. So if you're using any type of dated system, you're definitely not using Windows. I mean, if you were a Windows user with the next Windows 11 update, if you're running something a little bit older when it comes to your hardware, you're moving to Linux, which is just funny to me that I'm using really new hardware and I'm having to use Windows to get the full functionality out of my new hardware. It's just like a complete opposite. Like, if you're running the newest shit, you're probably going to need Windows, or if it's like an Apple piece of hardware, obviously Apple. But like, I don't know, just the way that things work. Like, I need Windows for the latest hardware, and then Linux, older hardware, much better. Either way, it's just one of those weird things. But let me just go ahead and read this last part. For all Windows 11 editions, internet access is required to perform updates, which that one, why is this even any, like, am I Microsoft? Friendly question. Do you believe that I am retarded? I know that you're probably watching this right now and you're like, I'm not Microsoft, but to whoever out there who works for Microsoft, the company that you work for is not just ignorant and arrogant. The company that you work for thinks I'm stupid. Trust me when I say I understand the fact that I need to have internet to download an update. And fuck you, Microsoft, for thinking I don't know that. Okay, let's move on to the next thing. To download and take advantage of some features. Like what? What features? Are you talking about the insane amount of telemetry? Because you can fuck right on off with that offer. I'll take my no telemetry. No, you don't need it. I don't give two shits what you say. Those aren't like, the amount of telemetry that's in Windows 10 is not a feature, and you'd have to be ass backwards to believe it's a feature. Like, I mean, you'd have to be on Microsoft's slong to be able to believe that that's a deal or a feature. It's not. Nothing about the amount of telemetry in Windows 10 is a good feature. Like, location services are amazing. Like, I know a lot of people out there are like, nobody should know my location. I mean, as privacy unfocused as a GPS on your phone is, let's be honest, there's a reason why they've gotten to be so popular. There are times when your car dies and it's really, really effing useful to be able to send anybody that you need to your location and then be able to just navigate straight to that location. That is, oh, I'm sorry guys, that is useful. That is helpful. Now, it might make you a little nervous and make you not want to use, that feature, that service. all the time, or maybe just only when you use it, or just never, even when you need it. You're like, no, that's fine. But it makes sense. Microsoft being sent my computer's location, especially if it's a fucking desktop, makes absolutely no sense. Like, no sense. Like, I understand my IP address, like my IP provider is going to have my address. Like, that's just, I understand that. That's just a level of security that you have to give up to be on the internet. But Microsoft, you don't need to know it. Just piss right on off. And then the last little quote here, this right over here, I just want to make sure you guys see this. Microsoft account is required for some features. Let's talk about what some of those features are. Now, I don't know if they're going to change this or anything, but from what I've heard, the earliest beta or the leaked version of Windows 11 that, you know, people have had their hands on for a little bit, you are required to sign into a Microsoft account to be able to right click on your desktop, the start button that's now in the center, to be able to right click on that and move it over to the left where it used to be in Windows 11 or Windows 10, excuse me. I'll go down here and just highlight this. So this button right here, yeah, to be able to move that from the center, you're going to need to sign in with a Microsoft account. What the fuck? What? Why? Makes no sense. What? Like, I don't know. I mean, come on. Does anyone out there, do you have a good response? Like, how am I supposed to react to that? I need a Microsoft account to be able to move a goddamn button on my taskbar. Why? Well, I'll explain why. Because if you can make using your system fucking annoying as hell without signing in with an account where you can get metadata from that user that you can also sell to other companies and make money, well, there's a good chance that that customer that wouldn't have spent that money to, you know, on a pro version to be able to not use it or not sign in with a Microsoft account will do it. And you can get all that metadata and sell it anyway. It's just underhanded business practices, and also it's slimy. It's just slimy and disgusting. And the fact that there is a lot of corporate and enterprise industry respect for Microsoft pisses me the fuck off. Like, this is a company that nobody should have any respect for. I mean, literally, I've met drug dealers, not shitting you, drug dealers that have better business practices than Microsoft. I'm not kidding. Drug dealers that have better business practices than Microsoft. That is a thing. I guarantee you could find a crack addict who sells his crack with more decency and respect for his customers than Microsoft does. Guarantee you. Microsoft doesn't give two shits about its end user, and also they take great pride in not giving a fuck about you and being very public about it. Like, I mean, how does nobody, like, how does nobody talk? Nobody wants a fucking Microsoft account. Nobody wants to use Edge. Nobody likes the file browser in Windows 10. Let me just load it up here. If you think that this, like, let me just click here. This is good UI up here at the top, this drop down. If you think this is good UI, I don't know what like crack shit that you're smoking, but if you could share it, that'd be great, because then my mind would be numb enough to actually use this and think it's absolutely fantastic. The only reason that Windows 10 is not regarded as one of the worst, or actually I take that back, anything other than Windows XP, the only reason why any other Windows version other than Windows XP, because, like, let's be honest, for industry and stuff, Windows XP was amazing for so long. The only reason why Windows is not universally regarded as the worst platform to use, and also the most disrespectful operating system created to date. Like, I mean, to date. The only reason is the fact that just shit works. That's it. If we're being completely honest with each other here in this sort of one-way dialogue, I'm sure you guys will have some shit to say in the comments, which I am more than happy to talk about, because I've been drinking, if you can't tell, and I'm just done with Microsoft. I mean, I just am. They're just a bad company. They're a bad company. Their business practices are underhanded, and they just don't care that you know. So, like, I guess my question would be, why is it that we continue to accept the fact that Windows is a platform where you can get work done? Why do we accept the fact that Windows is a good platform? Like, Windows is not a good operating system, period. Everyone knows that. Like, I shit you not, there has to be 17 to 100 Microsoft employees that would openly admit to you that Windows fucking sucks as soon as they clock out of their job. I mean, while they're there, it's amazing. They love it, and they just, their bosses schlong all day long. By the way, if you're a Microsoft employee, I know I was just hugely disrespectful there. I mean, it was an exaggeration and a joke. Hopefully that didn't offend you. I know not every Microsoft employee is sucking up to the boss, but you get my point. Like, Microsoft is not a good operating system. It's not. It's just the operating system where shit will work. Like, it just will. And again, the reason that, because I do want to go ahead and address this, because I know some retard out there is going to say this, and yes, I'm not being PC, because fuck off, I'm not being PC. Some retard out there will be like, well, the reason everything just works is because it's good. No. The reason why everything just works is because most people are using it, so the people making shit make it for it. That's it. Like, imagine a world where everybody ate dog shit. Just bear with me for a second. Imagine a world where every single person ate dog shit for their meals. Then a company decides, what if we put sprinkles on our dog shit? Okay, so you have dog shit covered in sprinkles. This is Microsoft. And then every other single company out there is, well, everyone's eating dog shit, so we should start, putting stuff on top of our dog shit so that people will like our dog shit. And so then everybody just starts taking the shit sprinkle stack and adding more stuff on top of it. This is the world that we live in. By the way, the dog shit part of that analogy is Windows. There's Windows dog shit, and then Microsoft puts its little sprinkles on top. Like, I don't know, for the 10 people out there that enjoy using a Microsoft account and find some ungodly use for it where it's like valuable. Fuck me, I have no idea what you're talking, like, no idea what the value in like, could someone honestly tell me, can we talk about that? What the fuck is the value of a Microsoft account? What do you gain by using a Microsoft account other than the ability to install the newest Windows? What? Does it track your Windows Store purchases? Which is amazing, because definitely all of us are using the Microsoft Windows Store, right? Right? No. Nobody uses that piece of shit. Literally, I bought the Windows 10 version of Minecraft on the Windows Store just so I could play. I think my buddy had a PS4, and so I think with the Java edition, I couldn't play with him. I had to buy the Windows 10 edition, which he offered to pay for half of it. So I was like, okay, yeah, sure. I'll pay $10 for for Minecraft, whatever. I bought it. That son of a the next time I installed Windows, it told me that I hadn't bought it. And I was logged in with the same Microsoft account. So I don't see like there is no intrinsic value in using a Microsoft account. There just isn't. Well, actually, I'll take that back. There might be a value in using a Microsoft account if you've never used any other service known to man until you used a Microsoft account. Like if you've never had a Google account, you've never had even a fucking Yahoo account, if you've never had another online service account that tracks stuff like maybe your contacts, whatever, yeah, it's great because it's the only thing you know. I cannot I mean, I know this has been a 20-minute rant about Windows, but I'm going to keep going because I can't fucking stand Windows anymore. It is the most annoying piece of shit software I have ever used. And it is not because stuff doesn't work. Like, here's the thing. Linux stuff right now doesn't work on my hardware. Like if I want to go back to using Linux, which by the way I do, I want to make that abundantly clear. I do. The thing is for me to go back to Linux, my graphics card performance is going to get much worse, and I won't even be able to use an extra monitor. But I'm about to go do it because I am absolutely not okay with and it's not because the operating system doesn't work, but it's because I'm not okay with using something where like the manufacturer of the product is 100% okay with just blatantly being like, I don't give two shits about you. I don't care. Like, I don't care if you like privacy. I don't care if you like, let's just address this. You need to buy a Windows 11 Pro license to be able to use it without a Microsoft account. Now, let's go back and drop down here to the last. For all Windows 11 editions, internet access is required to perform updates and to download and take advantage of some features. A Microsoft account is required for some features. Let's address that statement. Literally what that statement says to me is that right now you have to have internet access to perform an update, which again is that statement there is not meant to be condescending, but it fucking is. Like literally anyone with half a brain knows that to update your system, you have to have. What kind of fucking world do we live in where Microsoft thinks they need to explain that you need internet access to do a goddamn update? The fuck is wrong with you, Microsoft? Wow. I know the person who wrote this, that was not condescending whatsoever, but that is the most condescending statement I have ever heard. And let me be quite frank with you. If you do not know that you need internet access to perform an update, you haven't used your computer for dick squat. This is the first time you're using a computer. By the way, since it's your first time using a computer, welcome to the video. I hope I haven't offended you yet. But really what it says to me is not that you need internet access to perform an update. What it says to me is that right now, you just need internet access to perform that update. Because it seems to me, if Microsoft is okay with having Windows 11 Home require that you have a Microsoft account to be able to set it up, what they're saying to me is that they're okay in the next release ensuring that there are essentially no users that use their product without having a Microsoft account. Because let's be real about it. If you go out, or your grandmother, or I don't know, anybody you fucking know goes out and buys a computer from any Best Buy, any pre-built store, if they're not somebody who knows what they're doing when it comes to computers, they're going to go out and buy a pre-built or a laptop or something. When they go out and buy that device, they're going to come home with Windows 11 Home on it. What does that mean? That means every single uneducated person or person who just doesn't give two shits is using Windows with a Microsoft account. Now, let's say you might be arguing, well, I mean, those people don't care. It doesn't matter. What happens when they do care? See, here's the thing. When it comes to privacy and security, there's never a problem until there's a problem. And then when there's a problem, you're going to wish that you had been privacy focused for years. Like, see, here's the thing. I have a Microsoft account and a Google account. Granted, I do my best to be secure with both of them. But when it comes to, let's say, because like everybody wants to argue where I do nothing. Like, I mean, I'm not doing anything illegal, so there's no reason for me to get in trouble, or there's no reason for the government to come after me. But that's just the thing. You don't know when the government's going to come after you, because all it takes is some radical change in the social environment that we live in, or the political structure, for the establishment or the government where you live to decide that, let's just say here in America right now, the LGBTQA plus whatever movement is going strong. And like, let's be honest, we are all extremely accepting. But all it takes is some crazy wacko cult to get really popular, or there to be a political reason to stomp out that movement. And then just because you've participated in LGBTQ whatever stuff, you to become a target. And that's just an example. I mean, it could be with anything. Hell, like Delta 8 carts, like weed here in America is illegal, but we have things like Delta 8 carts, Delta 10 carts, all this stuff, which are essentially the same thing as weed, but they're just illegal, and also at the same time they're fantastic. Delta 8 is much milder than regular weed, so it's great for older people who have pain. My grandparents have been using it. It's fantastic. That being said, all it takes is tomorrow for you to be labeled, a political outsider or a political target because you've been public about Delta 8, or you talk about its benefits and stuff like that. And then you're a target. And as any type of target, the more ways that people can have access to what you've done in the past, or, just shit about you, is bad. And so if you don't need or want or see any goddamn benefit from a Microsoft account, there's no reason for them to have any information on you, period. I don't see any benefit from having a Microsoft account. I also don't see one lick of a benefit from me using their software, other than my shit will work better. That's it. That being said, some people are going to be like, well, I mean, your stuff works better. Why are you complaining? I mean, it just works better. Even though stuff works, it's sort of like a big, I'm trying to think of the best way to describe it, but it's sort of like if somebody came up to you and they're like, look, life sucks right now. Excuse me, guys. Shit. Actually, I even lost my train of thought there. I have no idea where I was going with that, but yeah, it's just disrespectful. It's disrespectful to have a company treat me like, it's not like they're treating me like a product, because like I understand that companies treat you as a consumer. They want to sell you stuff. That's fine. But when a company is just like, we just don't care about you, like it's really sad. Like it's really sad. That's really what it is. At least Apple, like even in their proprietary walled garden, world that they've built for themselves, they still at least put in the effort to try and reassure their customers that they care. Whether you trust them or not, whether you hate them or you love them, that's beside the point. They at least try to some people would say it's convince you, but they at least try to let you know that they do care about your security and they do care about you having a great experience with their software and hardware. And when it comes to their software and hardware, like let's say when you're using an Apple device, I mean, you need an Apple ID. You need an Apple account. And I know some people were about to bring this up with my last statement, but there is a benefit to using an Apple account. Like for one, Apple makes it a very big point to tell you that the security when it comes to your account, your iCloud account and all that shit is very important to them. Microsoft does not, just doesn't. And whatever Microsoft employee out there wants to tell me that they do, fuck off. They don't. You don't. You just fucking don't. That's the truth. You just don't. You just don't put in enough effort to reassure me or make me think that you care. It's just not there. But when it comes to using an Apple account, if you've never used an Apple product before, it's easy for you to say that there is no benefit to using one. Once you get into the ecosystem and using an Apple account, yes, there are benefits to using it. Like their ease of life and ease of use sort of features and nice to haves. They're not necessary, but there are benefits to having an Apple account. With a Microsoft account, there is no benefit. There is no benefits. And any person out there who wants to tell me otherwise, go fuck yourself. There is no benefits. Like what is the benefit? Like maybe syncing my OneDrive to other places? Fuck off. OneDrive is the worst shit ever. And here's why. It's not because OneDrive is bad, because I honestly don't know. I don't use it. Here's the one thing. OneDrive being installed by default and me having to manually go in and select to not send files to it. And then also, even when I select that button, OneDrive turn around giving me the finger and just saying all your shit is getting uploaded is highly disrespectful. And I could give two fucking shits less what you got to say about it. Fuck you. OneDrive is awful. Period. I hate it. I will not use it, and just fuck you, OneDrive. You suck. I don't know, maybe when you sign in with a Microsoft account, you can get your pictures or photos synced across. I don't know. You can probably come up, try and squeeze your asshole and shit out a reason to use a Microsoft account, but it's worthless. There is no reason to use a Microsoft account that's beneficial. There's no features about it that are awesome, this is great. There's just not. And the platform that Microsoft has created is just highly disrespectful. And that's really what it comes down to. It's not that Windows is a garbage piece of software, although in my opinion it is. And now I'll be honest about that. That's my opinion. I think it's garbage software. And the reason I think it's garbage software is because they essentially just keep pancaking on new layers to Windows all the time. Windows never really receives a true rewrite to code, a true rethinking of code, because it has to continue to support the same shit hardware that 1.0001 people out there are using. It's got to support it. So it is shit, to be honest. Windows is shit. The only thing that makes it not look inherently like it, the shit pile that it is just stuff works. That's really it. You can get into Windows, you can do your stuff, you can move on with your business, and everything just works. If you run into problems, you're fucked, but you might be able to get some help by paying money or by taking it to a shop or something like that, where in Linux, you can actually go and like to a forum or just go on Google and search the problem that you're having and find someone to help you with it. On Windows, you can do the same thing, but like, let's be honest, if it's something a little weird, or maybe a little bit more random or maybe more hardware specific, nobody when it comes to using Windows is as helpful or as community driven as the Linux community. Like Windows is just not the same. Yes, when you go to websites, there will be more Windows focused posts on there, more Windows focused, help stuff going on back and forth between people. But that doesn't mean that it covers as much stuff, the people there will be more willing to help you out. I have found personally that in the Windows community, they're nowhere near as helpful as the Linux community is. When you have a problem with Linux, you're guaranteed going to find somebody who will reach out and be more than willing to help you fix what you got going on. In Windows, somebody might help you, but it's only because they posted something to help, like a buddy or it's a different type of help. It's just different. There's no real community around Windows. There really isn't. There's a big, massive community of people who use Windows, but there is not a big, massive community of people who love Windows. Big difference. Big, big, big difference. There is a very, very, very small minority of people out there that love Windows by far. They just have so much respect for it and love it. Those people, I'd bet damn amounts. I'd put myself into debt for years betting on those people being ex-Microsoft employees or people who have at least at one time in their career applied for a Microsoft job, which I'm not saying that's a bad thing or whatever. I'm just saying the people out there who absolutely love Windows are the type of people who would work at Microsoft or have worked at Microsoft. There's not a big community of people out there who don't help. Like, I don't help with Linux kernel development or any crazy shit like that, but there have been numerous occasions where online I have helped someone figure out what their problem was on Linux just because I like it. And I also want, if you're having a problem with Linux, I want you to have the reason I had such an amazing experience with Linux is because other people who weren't getting paid and loved it helped me with any issue that I ran into. So I returned the favor. And I feel like that's a big thing in the Linux community. Windows and Microsoft doesn't have that, period. Their operating system is just, it doesn't have a passion behind it. Why? Because it doesn't matter. Windows doesn't matter. In the grand scheme of things, Windows does not matter. Let's be honest. And I think Microsoft knows that. Microsoft knows that their product is only competitive right now because so many people are using it. And you got to think about it like this. As the years go on and more people start to care about their privacy or hear from, the few of us out there who use Linux, we are continuing to grow. I mean, even in the not few years, more than that, but even in the, let's say the past 5 years, we don't like to admit it, but the Linux market share has grown. Not insane, but it has grown. And I don't care what some sheet out there says, it has grown. It may not be much, but it's growing. And it will continue to grow. And the only thing that makes Microsoft probably pretty comfy right now is the fact that it's not growing rapidly. But I think the thing is once Microsoft does some underhanded shit, I don't know, Windows 11 Home requiring, imagine me buying this computer, taking it home, and realizing I had to use a Microsoft account to sign in. Oh, I was fucking pissed. I was pissed. But then people and online, I found out that you could have just unhooked it from the internet and went on. And I was still upset, but at least I had I was like, well, I mean, it's not that bad. At the very least, I could have just Googled it on my phone and then just unhooked my computer and done it without a Microsoft account. But when people can't use it and they have to make a Microsoft account, people are going to get upset. And the thing is, I mean, there's nothing offered. There is nothing offered by Microsoft in Windows 11 or 10 that makes up for the fact that they just don't care. Like, let's say you're a gamer and you want to play games. That's all you care about, period. You just want to play your games. The only reason you're using Windows is because you have to. And in the example that I'm saying you're a gamer, I'm talking about games like Apex Legends and stuff like that with anti-cheat. The only reason you're still using Windows is because you have to. That's it. You might not want to change to Linux, just because you're not super into Linux or you don't really know that much about it or whatever. You just don't have a reason to yet. But let's be honest, the only reason you're using Windows is because you have to. I mean, Linux is not even an option. When anti-cheat and stuff go away, Microsoft, your entire I'm just going to phrase this directly to Microsoft. Microsoft, your company is one of the worst companies I have ever seen. Your public relations with your customers is horrible. Your customers only continue to use your products because they are forced to. There is a handful of people out there that enjoy your products. The rest fucking hate it. The only reason they use it is because they have to. The only reason I'm using Windows right now is because I have to get the full performance out of my graphics card and to also not have any weird audio issues when I'm plugged up to a monitor. That'll be fixed as soon as the next Linux kernel comes out. And stuff like anti-cheat, it's only a fucking matter of time before that stuff's fixed. So you have to understand, for those of you who are not Microsoft, you have to understand that Microsoft probably knows that their business strategy is about dead, and also their entire company is on shaky fucking ground. Shaky ground. Because 99, could you imagine building a company, having it go nationwide, then global, and then getting to the point where almost every single personal home computer is using your operating system, and know for a fact that the only reason that's true is because you're the only game in town? And even worse than that, not just knowing that you're the only game in town, but people being very, very upfront about the fact that the product that you've made is fucking garbage. Everybody hates your business practice. Everybody thinks you're a fool. Like, Microsoft is the fool of computer tech and industry. Let's be honest. Cortana, garbage. Internet Explorer, garbage. Edge is a fucking ripoff of Chrome. And we can keep going. OneDrive, rip off of iCloud. They are the saddest corporation I have ever witnessed. And it's mainly because they're so big. It's mainly because they're so big and they have such a market share. It's honestly saddening to see. I mean, it's essentially like God, this is going to sound so awful, but it's essentially like you having a slow cousin who gets to be like everybody's favorite, but then realizes he's only everybody's favorite because the stupid shit that he does. Like, the only reason Windows is the favorite is because stuff works on it. Every other reason, like, nobody likes anything that Microsoft does. Nobody. Even the Windows, like even the actual operating system that we are talking about here, when it receives an update, when anything changes, when they do anything, nobody likes it. And it's not because everything's polarizing. And it's not because of anything. It's just because they're copying and doing catch up. I mean, they're playing catch up constantly. They're not innovative in any sense of the word. They're not innovating anywhere. They're not doing anything unique other than the fact that shit comes first to them. And here's the thing, any dirty Microsoft employee out there who wants to tell me that like they're doing hard work, or that they're, you know, the reason Windows is great and like they're getting all these features and all this stuff is because of their hard work, fuck right on off. The only reason that your piece of shit operating system gets any love is because it's so wildly used. The only reason why you have, you know, DirectX 12, or when it comes out 13 or whatever, you know, functionality, VR working amazing on your operating system first and right now only, is only because of your market share. It is not because you've made a quality product. Let's be fucking clear about that. Okay? Well, I've had a fantastic rant. I sort of feel better now. Not really, but I've at least spoken my mind. Hopefully you enjoy this heavily pissed off rant where I just talk about Windows and why I absolutely hate everything that is Microsoft. And again, you're more than welcome to debate my opinions in the comments, but let me be absurdly clear and upfront about it. Obviously, this has not been a PC post, and this is also my first video back in a while, so hopefully this didn't scare you off. But I don't care for Windows. I don't care for Microsoft. I don't have any respect for Microsoft, and these are my opinions. If I said something that was completely wrong and not factual whatsoever, and it wasn't clearly an opinion, like, I don't know if you're good at observing like the difference between an opinion and a fact when it comes out of someone's mouth, but let's be clear, a lot of this was opinion. Most of it, almost all of it was opinion. So look, we can argue about it or talk about it in the comments, but either way, just know, I know it wasn't PC. I don't give two shits. Also, if you're from Microsoft and I've offended you here, cool. I could honestly care less. I'm sure you'll say something in the comments to offend me right back, which is fine. I mean, sort of how internet conversations go when somebody gets, you know, upset or, you know, gets disrespected or whatever, however you want to put it, you know, being mean, whatever. People do that shit. It's fine. It's fine. I mean, if I piss me off right back off. I mean, I don't care. I mean, maybe it'll work. Who knows? I don't care. I don't have any respect for Microsoft. I don't think the reason their operating system is regarded as being nearly as good as it is because of the hard work they do at all. I think it's because of the hard work that driver manufacturers and all that stuff makes. Like, I think Windows is a garbage piece of software, and I think Microsoft is starting to realize that the only reason that they have a good operating system is because of the corporate relationships that they have. And the scary part is corporate relationships die. People move on. Corporations seek more money, and fuck me if we don't have a free operating system over here where you can essentially, if it's not licensed under the GPL, you can even use it in some proprietary code. So there seems to be a reason why companies might move over towards the Linux way of doing stuff. I don't think Microsoft is ever going to make Windows free and open source. I don't ever think that's going to happen, because I think the time that it will happen will be the time that it's already too late, and nobody, I mean, like, even the industry respect that people have for Microsoft will be gone. And see, the thing about it is I do want to finish this off. If you're somebody who has worked for Microsoft, for one, I cannot believe that you have made it almost 50 minutes into this with how much I've insulted Microsoft. But if you work for Microsoft and you are listening to this, let me make this abundantly clear. Everything that I have said is about the corporation as a whole that you work for, not you as an individual. I am positive that Microsoft has thousands of fantastic people who are great people, hard workers, talented, skilled, and knowledgeable. I am not talking about you when I'm saying this. I'm talking about the corporation as a whole. And yes, should some board of director or anybody who is classified as an executive of Microsoft is watching this, I was talking directly about you. 100% directly about you. You make retarded statements, you make retarded decisions, and your company as a whole is a filthy rat that deserves to get stomped in the head to oblivion. I think that was as frank as I can make it. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Hopefully I didn't piss you off too much. Probably did, but either way. All right, bye.